Good. I'm with Carl Bachellier, is that correct?
Yes, very good.
Who's the fairly new president of the Hamilton Air Force Association at
128 King Street East.
in beautiful Dundas. Thank you for taking the time to meet with me today, Carl.
Oh, thanks very much.
Very kind of you. And I'm Judy Chapello with Revalio Inc. Brokerage. And I've just got some questions for Carl, so we'll just go ahead. Can you tell me a little bit about the history of the Air Force Club?
So the Air Force Club was originally in Hamilton, started in around 1946 by a group of Air Force veterans after the Second World War. And they put some money together and even mortgaged their own homes to buy this piece of property in Dundas and build this building. And the shovel went into the ground in 1959 and they started construction in 1960. It opened shortly thereafter.
Yeah, and you've got I know you're not that we're going to play it, but you've got a video, I think, of.
Yeah, there are video archives of the construction and
yeah.
And when the airplane came in the, I guess in the 70s.
Oh yeah.
When it was brought in by helicopter. It's.
That's exciting.
Yeah, so it's great history.
It is. It's got a lot of good history for sure.
Yeah.
And you've been the president for how long now?
Well, our previous president, Ed Watson, passed away unexpectedly in May of last year, and I sort of took over the reins, but we were under COVID, so there were only a few of us sort of keeping the place open. And then we recently had the election, and I was elected as president.
Yes.
A legitimate president.
Congratulations.
This
Not a coup this time.
Not a coup this time. No, Eddie passing, that was a great loss to the club and the community.
Yeah.
And I'm here carrying on his mission.
Yeah, he'd be proud of
So
you.
I've been president for about a year.
Yeah, and how are you enjoying it?
I don't think I should answer that question.
All right, moving on to the next
No,
one.
I'm kidding. No, I enjoy it.
Yeah,
Enjoy
of
it very
course.
much.
Yeah. You're here every day pretty well.
Pretty much, yeah.
And what days are they closed? Monday and that's it, or Sunday, Monday?
Our summer hours are coming up soon, but yeah, we're usually closed Sunday and Monday.
Right.
But we stay open on those days if there's an event upstairs.
Right. And speaking of upstairs, what does go on upstairs?
So we have some regular people that rent the space upstairs. We have a church that comes in on Sunday mornings. There's Zumba classes, karate, Tai Chi, a number of sort of regular community events where small businesses can come and bring their people together.
Yeah, I know the BIA used to meet here some time ago. That was way before your time, because we met upstairs for a while. And so people can rent the upstairs.
Yes.
Yeah, and there's a bar and there's a big dance floor and.
Yes, we have a bar and a kitchen on the upper floor and on the lower floor.
Mm-hmm.
And we regularly also accommodate movie productions.
All right.
So we've got one coming up that'll be here for 3 days. And they're usually just shuttling their actors around or doing wardrobe or makeup here or even feeding the crew.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
And how many people does it hold up there?
I think we're licensed for about 220 upstairs.
Okay.
And about 150 downstairs.
Right. Okay. And I know there's been some renovations upstairs. You got a new floor and.
Well, the floor is a few years old, but during COVID, a small group of us would come here and work on different projects. So I restored the downstairs kitchen and I restored the stove upstairs.
Okay.
And then we had a new entranceway put in and an accessibility ramp. We did a lot of painting and cleaning over the last couple of years and really freshened the place up.
Yeah, it looks good. It looks really good. It looks nice. The dining area, which is where we are now on the lower floor, is really attractive now as well.
Yes, yeah, it's all come together.
Yeah, and so the downstairs people can rent it as well?
Yes, we rent the downstairs, especially this room that we're in right now. Certain events or companies will have their meetings here. It's the membership. There are about 185 paid members for the downstairs, and membership sort of goes back to the origins of how the club was formed. But our membership are sort of an aging group, and I think there were only 10 or 11 veterans on the list now. And we try to drive income from the upstairs. And the downstairs, we bring in 5 or 10 new members every month or so. just to get some fresh blood in here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the downstairs is a lot about snooker.
Yeah, we have the 2 big snooker tables that really take up
Yeah.
about half of the downstairs. And we also have dart leagues that come in and play darts.
Yeah. And you've got a shuffleboard.
And we have a shuffleboard, yes.
So anybody can come and join the snooker if they ask to join one of the leagues?
Yes, we're a very welcoming club. The old restrictions of having military or veteran roots are sort of relaxed now. And it's about sort of bringing people from the community coming in and having a place to get the cheapest beer in town.
Yeah. It's great. Brian was playing snooker and was a bartender yesterday. I mean, it's just such a relaxed environment.
It is
to be
very
in, so
relaxed.
It's really
here,
nice
yeah.
that way.
Yeah.
So what are your sort of your short-term goals for the place? Do you have any sort of in the next 6 months or a year kind of thing?
So over the next 6 months to a year, we've worked out some arrangements with a couple of corporate sponsors to get a new dishwasher. We're going to get the kitchen upstairs, a new dishwasher, and we've got some other kitchen equipment coming in through Kyle Chauvaz, our new vice president. And we're going to build a much more comprehensive website so that we can become a little more visible. I think we're the best kept secret in Dundas.
Yeah.
And when people want to look for a hall to rent or do a birthday party or host a dance or something like that, I think we need to become a little more visible. So we're going to try and increase our visibility and finish up some other sort of small renovations in the next few months.
And do you have to be a member to play snooker, for example, or to come in for a drink?
So basically the rule is if you come in 2 or 3 times, we will ask you to become a member. Becoming a member makes you responsible. Unlike a Legion, it's interesting, the members own this building. We don't have a mortgage, and so those infrastructure costs are quite low. So as a member, this is sort of your place. So it's not expensive to be a member, and it makes you responsible for the snooker tables, and because there are costs associated with keeping up the equipment here. So we encourage that, but by all means, you're welcome to come by. And the upstairs is generally treated as a community center and is open to the public.
Yeah. And it is a very pleasant, relaxed environment here. There's no question about it.
Yeah.
People are very friendly and just very casual.
Yeah, and the membership thing is just a way to support our little hideaway here.
Yeah.
It's not a restriction of any kind, and it's definitely not complicated.
Yeah.
We're pretty easy to come along with around here.
Yeah. What about long term? Do you have any vision for long term at all?
So the long term is going to be driven by our short term. I think that we need to make ourselves more visible and generate more income, and then improve upstairs and put in a new floor and do the insulation and make it more of a place to come for weddings and receptions and things like that. And make us a little more self-sufficient.
Yeah, it's a great space upstairs. There's a stage.
Yeah.
And it's a big dance floor.
I think by growing us in that way, we can become more helpful to the community, because even now we try to have a toy drive at Christmas and a food drive a couple times a year, and we host a number of events, like we have an autism bike motorcycle group coming up in the summer. We have 3 motorcycle groups coming up, where they'll use this as either a start or a finish.
Oh, I see.
And they'll have lunch, and we help their charities out, and we help each other out.
So you've got Kyle the chef, and he does the catering if it's required.
So Kyle, our new vice president, the second in charge, he is a professional chef, and in return for a lot of the stuff that he does for the club for free, we also reciprocate and help him in his endeavors in events and things like that.
Yeah.
So he's really a valuable part to the club.
Yeah, excellent. And what do you do when you're not here?
Well, if I'm not behind the bar or running around doing something here, I have my own company. It's a biotech company. I invented some mixing technology years ago, and I now build equipment to scale up the manufacture of stem cells, and we're currently working on a process to scale up a cancer vaccine with some American partners. So I'm sort of a crazy inventor type.
That's impressive. That could be another interview.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome.
I love to talk about that, for sure.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, you probably know more about that than you do about the history of the Air Force Club, for example.
Well, my idea of my book one day is Bartending Secrets in Curing Cancer. That would be a great title,
Yeah.
So it's a really, different aspect to what I do as a normal job coming here.
Yeah, that's great. That's interesting. Now, what about any experiences that you've had, or you or anybody else has had? Any memorable experiences come to mind? Or?
Well, I think a lot of great things happen here, but I think it's mostly the community events that bring all the people together. So the last big one was when the plane came down off the pedestal,
Yep.
and everybody came in and helped cleaning the plane and restoring it. And then there are always great stories when we have like a movie production company here, and you get to meet people from so many different walks of life, and they discover this place that's sort of a little time capsule. Because I was a member here in my mid-20s, in say 1988 and 89, and then life happened, and I didn't come here again for over 20 years. But when I did come back about 5 years ago, it just looked the same. This is a time capsule.
Yeah, it is.
And there's some comfort in that.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people like that.
Yeah. Were there some of the same people still here?
Yeah, there are a few of them. Yeah. But yeah, that's great.
You have a board of directors?
Yeah, so we have an election every year, and there's a president, vice president, a treasurer, a secretary, and we put together a group that basically administers the management and the finances here. And we've relaxed it a little bit, just because in order to attract good people to volunteer all their time to manage something like this, we try not to take up too much of their time and complicate things. So we've relaxed it a little bit in its rigid structure, which was formed in 50, 60 years ago.
Yeah.
And but with modern technology and email and texting, we can manage this place 24 hours a day without any problems. Because there's always something that's leaking or something that broke.
Well,
and it has to be attended to.
Yeah.
So we take care of it with that.
Yeah. I mean, even the area around here hasn't changed much, really.
No, really,
The
no.
road hasn't changed.
No, the road hasn't
Well, I mean, the
changed.
greenhouse is gone, because you're right near what used to be Ben Velda's greenhouse.
Yes, the greenhouses, yeah, but that, even when that came down, they sort of let it go back to nature.
Yeah.
And it's great along here, along Coos Paradise.
It is indeed. Well, Carl, anything else you'd like to share with us about this establishment?
No, not really. I think we covered everything
think
quite
so,
nicely.
too. Yeah.
I appreciate the interview. I've had fun.
Yeah, no, it was well done. So if anybody wants to join or wants to drop by, they can do so anytime. What are your hours, like, you're coming up to summer hours?
Yeah, we're coming up to summer hours, but we're usually open at about 1 p.m. And depending on if there's an event going on, we're open until about 10 or 11 o'clock at night sometimes.
And are you in the phone book?
The phone
Hello.
book. See, that's what we have to do. We have to bring ourselves into the future.
What I need is, like, if someone was to Google it, is there a phone number that they can call that's an office number or something, or is it better to email? Or?
Yeah, offhand I don't know the phone number.
No, that's okay. I can put that at the end anyway. But.
And there is a website right now that's very, very long. I want to shorten it, but it's Hamilton Air Force Association.ca. And we're going to build that out over the next several months with the assistance of your husband, Gary.
There you go. Good idea.
And we'll get him on that.
Yeah.
And his friend, Jim Nicholson.
That's correct, yeah.
So we want to improve that. But we're easy to find, and there aren't too many buildings around here with a big jet airplane on a pedestal in the parking lot.
Yeah, and you're just east of East Street, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, this is East Street,
East Street,
and this is confusingly King Street.
King Street,
where the ducks and the geese are down by the water.
That's right, yeah. All right, Carl, well, thanks again for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thanks very much, Steve.
All right, bye.
Okay, bye.